Hello, I'm Lizzie and this is Lizzie Reads, and welcome to my 24-hour reading challenge. Now, this reading challenge has been something I wanted to do for a while. I'm a bit off my reading game. I haven't read many books. I'm not reading as fast as I used to, and I'm a little bit behind on content as well. Well, I'm just not posting any content. And I feel like I just want to really re-spark that, especially going into autumn. It's kind of like the time of year when I really do like to be really into reading, even more so than normal. And the plan was to start first thing this morning. I was talking like 7 a.m. and I went to bed nice and early, but unfortunately I was woken up at about 4:30 in the morning and then didn't get back to sleep for a little while, and it was too early to get up because I was still tired, but also I then was too late getting up, so I didn't wake up till 8:30. I needed some time to just like get myself together, and I started at about 9 o'clock. So this is the 24 hours, 9 o'clock today, going to 9 o'clock tomorrow, which is when I start work. So maybe I'll do a little bit more reading tomorrow morning. I don't know, we'll see. This might just go to bedtime if I achieve everything that I want to achieve. So, as part of my reading goals, there are a lot of books I want to read. I'm taking each book, I'm kind of mood reading from book to book, but there are a few different books that I would like to get to in my back of my head, but I'm really just going to finish one book and then move on to the next book and move on to the next one. My main goal is to finish 5 books. Now that sounds really ambitious, but I would like to finish 2 full-length novels or something of the sort. But I also want to read a couple of like shorter, maybe like novellas, Halloween themed ones. And the reason I would like to read those is because I'm trying to read as many sort of Halloweeny novellas for a recommendation video coming to you later this month before you start to plan your Halloween TBRs. So yeah, I'm going to try and read a couple of those in between. It's almost like refreshers. But I was already started a book before getting into that, and this was Fall of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which was released this week. And yeah, I'm very excited about it because, as you probably know, I love From Blood and Ash. And I'm not going to be going into like loads of spoilers. It's not going to be like I normally do for my From Blood and Ash videos. I'm not going to be talking about it a whole lot because I want to do a full review video. As you can see, there are lots of notes that I've been taking. I was 29 pages in when this video started, and as you can tell, across the course of the morning I've been doing a little bit of shopping, doing a bit of walking. I didn't finish my coffee on my walk, so I sat here and done some of my journal, my planning, updating my notes in here, listen to the audiobook whilst I'm doing it. But I'm currently on page 73 So I haven't read all that much. I've read 40 pages and it is 11 o'clock. But I'm just getting into the audiobook, so I started like a little bit slower than I would normally listen to an audiobook. And I will naturally read this faster physically, but I do have some jobs to do. So this is my first book that I'm going to start. It's about, just for a brief description, it's about a young woman called, I think her name's Callista. Lisa. Her name's Callista, but I think they call her Lisa, I think. And she has sort of like premonitions, and she has sort of future. She sees things from the future. The premonitions remain to be seen how they manifest. And she's met a highborn. They're called highborns, I think. In the past, who saved her from a tricky situation, and then she meets him again in the future, and obviously fantasy romance ensues. Just to say on my thoughts on it, rough thoughts, no spoilers. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not super hooked. I felt the same way when I read From Blood and Ash for the first time, but I will say that the orange tabs are where I feel like it is comparison or really similar to From Blood and Ash, and there are a lot of those so far. It might just be because I'm so invested in From Blood and Ash that I'm seeing the similarities where other people might not, but I don't think I'm seeing similarities where there aren't any. I think it's more that Jennifer Armentrout has sort of a type, and yeah, I'm just interested in like making loads of notes, and I'm gonna do a full review video, so I won't talk about it too much. But yeah, that's my main priority to start with. And yeah, so I'm up to page 72. It's just over a 400-page book, so it shouldn't take me too long. And I'm not going to decide what I'm going to read after it until I get to that point. So my plan is now I'm going to do a full tidy up. I need to do lots of tidying, lots of washing. Had friends around for dinner last night, and there's lots of mess left over. So I'm going to do all of that. And then while listening to the audiobook, of course. And then what I will say is I will tidy up, relax, and then I'll get into my reading a little bit more. But yeah, I've never done a sort of 24-hour reading challenge video properly before, and I really want to like properly dedicate time to it. I do have a friend popping over for a cup of tea later on in the afternoon, but that's probably just going to be a few hours, nothing major. So yeah, I'm really excited to be reading all day and like cram reading, because that's all I've wanted to do for weeks, is just sit down and read book after book after book, and sometimes I'm not in the mood for that, but recently I have been. So yeah, I'm really excited, and thanks for joining me on this video. So we are about 7 hours in, and I've only read about 150 pages. It's not going very well for me at the moment. My friend did come round for like 2.5 hours, so we were just chatting. But prior to that, I just didn't seem to make very good progress. Listening to the audiobook, I did have a 40-minute call from my mum, so I suppose that helped as well. Put me back, but it's 4 o'clock, and obviously I have like quite a while until I go to bed. I'm not going to go to bed for ages yet. So I'm definitely going to try and just knock this out now. I'm about 55% of the way through, so I think I could definitely read a little bit more now, but we'll see how quickly I can get through it. It looks quite sunny outside now, so I might read outside for a little bit and see how I get on. So I did just finish Fall of Ruin and Wrath. It is now 20 to 7, so we're quite behind on the reading plans, but I did read, I read a good full book, and I annotated, made lots of notes, but I'm just gonna have some dinner now, and while I eat, I think my plan is to just watch like a random video and just like digest the information, or digest how I feel about it. So I will let you know a little brief thoughts, but there will be a review to follow. So I've just downloaded a Halloween novella called Halloween Spirit, A Date with Death, which seems interesting. And I'm going to read that and see how I get on, see how it lives up. It's a novella, it's only 100 pages, so I'm going to try and read that. I'll probably read that quite fast. We'll see how we get on. And yeah, still not sure how I feel about Fall of Ruin and Wrath. I'm collecting thoughts. Hello, so I just finished Halloween Spirit by Latrexa Nova, and it started very strong. I thought, this could be one I could recommend. A Grim Reaper and a girl in her self-proclaimed slut era meeting at a party, and a Halloween party, and I thought it was very interesting. The Grim Reaper aspect of it, it wasn't too heavy-handed. The Grim Reaper's perspective was very interesting. And then after 30 minutes and 50% of the book, they were in love with each other, because obviously it was only a 52-page physical book, and I was just expecting something like smutty and funny and like a very light-hearted but not a romance or a confession of love. I'm in love with you, and it just threw me right off and ruined the end of the book, to be honest. So that was a bit rubbish. I now am going to do my washing up and get ready for tomorrow, like just do a bit of like my Sunday evening routine. But when I do that, I think what I am going to do is listen to a new book called Witches in New Orleans. And this is obviously a witchy book. I thought that would be good, might be one to recommend. It's like a 2-hour audio book, but it has like a few different stories about witches like having little meet cutes, and I thought that might be a nice Halloween read. So it's quite like a dark evening. What I am going to do is I'm going to do my washing up, do my like Sunday evening routine, and then I am going to go and maybe play some Dreamlight Valley while listening to the audiobook, because why not? And then yeah, we'll see how the evening goes from there and what book I decide to read next. So I've not got very far into Witches of New Orleans, but it's looking really promising. But I've just got my Dreamlight Valley game ready to play, and it's updating. So I thought I would have a little quick talk to you about all of the books that I got through out of my shelves that I think I might want to read. So obviously there are quite a few books, because you can't even see all the way down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 books on this list. I'm going to go through them all, and I'm going to try and get the pile down a little bit, see what's available for audiobooks, and just narrow it down, so when I come to finishing this next book, I have a little bit more of a chance, because at the moment I've got no chance. So first of all, we've got Fault Lines by Emily Itami, and this is about a Japanese housewife and how she is unhappy in her situation. It's a literary fiction novel that was recommended to me by a friend. It's only 215 pages, which is obviously very, very favourable for a 24-hour readathon, but would knock something off my list that I hadn't. It wasn't currently on my immediate TBR, but it would stop it from sitting around, because it's been nearly a year since I've had this. Then we have Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. And this is a literary fiction novel about two black Londoners falling in love, and they are both in sort of very white spaces, so white upper middle class spaces, and it's about the exploration of that and living as a young black person in, what country am I in? England. And I've heard really beautiful things, and I've heard it's such a good love story. And it's 160 pages, so that could be good, but I'm worried it's going to like be something I'm going to want to ponder over. Like, it's going to be something I'm going to really want to sit with and take my time with, which isn't the kind of mood that I'm in right now. Obviously the lighting's changing because I've started to glitch out. Let's see if that helps. Now I've got this in my hands, I'm thinking it's not something that, you know, I'm currently going to have the time for. Next we have the Lizzie and Belle Mysteries, Drama and Danger. I am actually 46 pages into this story, and that is because I was reading it previously, but I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time. But I will pick up from where I left off because I do remember what happened. It wasn't that long ago. And let's see, there are 350 pages. It's like a cozy Victorian mystery, so I feel like that could definitely be up there on my consideration list. And then we have A Brush with Love by Maisie Eddings. And this is a dentist romance. I don't think I'm going to put this on the list. I don't think it's going to be one that's going to grab me. And obviously I've read kind of romance all day. And I want to make sure it's, if I pick up a romance, it's going to be a real one that's really going to get me instantly. Let's have a look then here. We've got Must Love Books by Shauna Robinson. This is 330 pages of pure book lover on book lover romance. Again, not sure that I'm going to eat this up right now because I feel like it'll be something I want to read cozy with lots of bookshop vibes. Like, obviously I'm having a very cozy time, but I am also very much ploughing through books. So I feel like it's something I'm going to reserve for another time. 99% Mine, on the other hand, is about a girl who has to reconnect with her childhood crush, best friend's brother situation, I think. And I know that I really did eat up The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. So I could really get through this. Oh, I've read the first 58 pages. Maybe I'll skim those ones. See, I'm already off at a good start. Next on the list, we have The Kane Chronicles, Book 1, The Red Pyramid. And I have decided to not read this now because when I pulled this off the shelf earlier in the day, I thought I was going to read it when I had a little bit more time. But we're now looking at 8:20 and it's a 500-page book. And although it's a relatively fast read, it's not incredibly fast. So it's going to be something that I'm not considering right now. We have Elemental Detectives, which is like a magic middle grade I picked up based on the cover when I was out shopping one time. And dragons and such. I feel like I could get through this quite fast, but it is 400 pages. I've already got a middle grade to choose from, and I want to keep the list short, so I'm going to keep that over there in the not pile. We have Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I think that might be how it's pronounced. I've heard a few different pronunciations of it, which is the translated fiction about a cafe in which you can go back in time, but you have to return when by the time your cup goes cold, I think. I've heard such beautiful, amazing things about it, and it is very short. It is only 200 pages, and I think it's one that I could definitely start, maybe. See how I get on with it. I might read the first page or so. Then we have For Her Consideration by Amy Spalding, which is a Hollywood sapphic romance that I got in one of the Afterlight boxes. And this is very short at 320 pages, and I think I could read this and very much enjoy it. We shall see. I will put this one on the list. We've got Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. It's just not... Although I'm really keen to read this, I didn't find the other two, like these Violent Delights books, particularly like gripping. I didn't get super hooked to them. They didn't appeal to me in the same way that everyone else did. I enjoyed them, but not overly so. So I am not going to pick this because now I'm running short of time. I'm worried about it not being very compelling. In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I think I'm going to pass on this for now. Mainly because I'm putting it off because I've loved all of the other ones by TJ Klune that I've read. But I just think that I don't know, I just think I'm not going to power through it. But then we do have the very large, because this is a open market edition of Happy Place, which is just under 400 pages, but has massive font. And I find Emily Henry books very, very compelling. And this is about a couple who are going on a group trip where they're actually really broken up. But they're going to pretend to be together for their friends, as it's so special to them. And I think I'm going to really love this. I was lent it by a friend. I think I could really power through this. So we shall see how I get on. So my shortlist, I'm glad we got a shortlist. It's not as short as I would like. Is as follows. This is my shortlist, and we'll see what I decide when I next read. I'll let you know soon. So I just finished Witches of New Orleans, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely going on my recommendations list for Halloweeny romances. It's not necessarily set at Halloween, but it's witches in New Orleans. It's got like so many Halloweeny vibes. It was really fun, really sweet. A series of 4 sort of meet cutes or relationship connections from these 4 witches from a coven. I thought it was really lovely written. And yet so many good things to say about it. It took only an hour to listen to, but I'm really, really glad I read it. It's one of the short ones that I felt really, really pleased to have read. So that means I have read 3 books so far. Now, I have decided out of my list, I've decided, it would help if I didn't throw it halfway across the room. I've decided to discard Before the Coffee Gets Cold, 99% Mine, Fault Lines and Happy Place in favour of 2 physical books. The Lizzie and Belle Mysteries, Drama and Danger, and For Her Consideration. And the reason I am deciding on these 2 books is because they're both short and definitely ones that I want to read, but also both the audiobooks are on Scribd, and that means I can just listen at all times. I don't have to just sit and concentrate on reading. But I also have the physical books, so then I can switch to physical reading like before bed and things like that. So hopefully I can finish one of these now before bed. We'll see. And then start the next one ready for the morning. We shall see. Obviously I've got an hour basically to drive to work, so I should finish more reading in the morning, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I can wake up early enough to do some reading. But we'll see how it goes. I'm really happy. I'm going to play some more because I'm really into my game at the moment. And I think I'm going to start with Lizzie and Belle Mysteries because I'm just excited to read this one. I'll let you know how it goes. I've just put the audiobook on, and according to the speed, if I listen on 2 times speed and I'm already read the first 8 chapters previously, I will takes 2 hours 50 minutes, but as time goes on I'll probably increase the speed. Already I feel like the narrator is talking very slowly, but it is a children's book, so that explains that. So I've just gotten into bed. It's about, I think it's 11:30. Yeah, it's 11:30, and I'm on page 240. Got not that long left, so I'm gonna finish the rest of it reading physically. I'm sure it won't take me any time at all. But yeah, I'm gonna get into bed and relax now. I've had a pretty successful reading day so far. I've read 3 books and I'm about to finish my 4th, and I might read the first few chapters of the next one to get me started on tomorrow. But to be honest, if I carry that book into the day, I'm not going to be too disappointed. I'll be quite pleased with myself. I'll probably wrap up the vlog tomorrow evening just to give it round it out a little bit. But yes, probably not much talking from me now because I'm getting a bit sleepy. So it's come to editing time once again, and I realised I haven't rounded out this vlog. Now, the reason I didn't carry on is because I stayed up quite late finishing the Lizzie and Belle mysteries. I think I stayed up till about midnight, which I don't normally do, especially on a Sunday night. So what I did was, when I woke up in the morning, I was running late. And then I was running late, so I didn't read anything else. And I didn't read any of the books that I said I was going to. So didn't do too well on the reading 6 books, but I did read 5, and I think that was pretty good. And especially for a 12, realistically a 12-hour period, because I didn't do the full 24 hours like I would like to. I think I'm definitely going to try again at the 24-hour readathon, but one with a little bit more planning and properly start it exactly when I want to and get a really good 24 hours of reading in. But that is not yet, so please keep a lookout for that when it comes. I'm not sure when that'll be yet. I'll definitely get planning on it. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll chat to you again soon. Goodbye.